Welcome everyone. Welcome to a special video presented to you from Dental Nachos on how dentists are going to be able to use video for connecting with their team and all kinds of other good things too. I'm Terry Brock, Director of Product Development here at Dental Nachos, and we are just pleased as punch to be with you today. That's a good saying, pleased as punch. And we're going to look at talking about this tool called Zoom that we've been using here at Dental Nachos almost 2 years now, and now the rest of the world's catching up with us. Because of the coronavirus, it's being used more extensively than ever before. Matter of fact, they had about 10 million users in January. Now they have over 230 million users. It has grown that fast in just a few days because of the stability that it provides, the connection ability, and it lets us do a whole lot more. So we're going to talk about a number of the different features that are there, and we're going to let you meet some of the Dental Nacho staff that's here to serve you and help you out as we work with Dr. Paul Goodman, who might be bouncing in or not. We've told him we're going to try to kidnap him. We were looking for some duct tape and rope, but they were flat out of it at their store. So we didn't get that for him. So he might be bouncing in, but we're glad to have him here and be able to help out where he can. But I want to talk to you about something real important first as you're getting started. You'll note, move your mouse into the screen. And you'll notice that in the lower left corner, you should see a little microphone with the word mute underneath that. Go ahead and click on that now, please. Click on that and you'll notice what happens. It puts a little line through there. That means it has muted you, and that's a good thing because sometimes there are certain, shall we say, untoward noises coming through. And I'm thinking we're getting that. Yeah, there we go. This way we can stop it in case, let's say an ambulance goes by or a dog starts barking or some alarm goes off. Well, that means that with the way Zoom works, your picture would come up clearly on the screen. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen, and that it only hears the person who is supposed to be speaking. And then also, by the way, here's a handy little trick. Not everybody knows about this. You'll see there's a little camcorder there, and underneath it, it says stop video. Click on that once and it will get rid of your video. Click again and it brings it back. Try that right now. Just click on that and go back and forth. You can toggle on that a little bit. Toggle turning it on, turning it off, and that works. And by the way, I did some research on this. I checked with Tom Wolf. I believe he's the governor there in Pennsylvania. It is now legal to toggle in the state of Pennsylvania. So you can toggle back and forth on that and have a good time. Just it's legal right now. There's no extra charge for that. But obviously you can use that in case you want to hide your screen or there's something going on you don't want to see, or you just want to step back for a little bit and you'll be able to work with that. So that's the muting and unmuting, which is a really important feature when you're using Zoom. Now, what we want to do is we want to help you on this in the dental community. And so if you have a question, you can get that to us in a couple of different ways. We're going to talk to you about the chat session in just a moment, and we're going to have some capabilities for that. As a matter of fact, right now, as I look at my handy dandy, remember this thing called paper we used to use? Yeah, we still use the paper here, using paper and the technology. And we're going to talk about that chat feature that is available. And Jill Ruggieri is going to be joining us on that. She is a person that helps us a lot. She's a special projects coordinator, and we are just loving having her here with us today. So Jill, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about chats and anything else that you think might be appropriate.
Great, thanks, Terry. Hi everyone, I'm Jill Ruggieri with Dental Nachos, and I'd like to first go through how to go from speaker view to gallery view. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, it'll say either speaker view or gallery view, and during a meeting, you could switch between each. Speaker view allows you to see the person who is speaking as the largest image. So anyone who is talking or anyone who is making noise will be the largest picture for speaker view. Then if you want to see everyone at the same time, you could choose gallery view and you just click on it to switch back and forth. Gallery view is kind of what we think about as the Brady Bunch image, where you see everyone in different squares. Most accounts allow you to see up to 12 people, some even up to 25 at the same time. And if you're having a meeting that includes even more than that, you can just swipe your screen to the left or right to see different pages of attendees. So again, speaker view and gallery view, you can switch between the two if you want to try it now, and it'll just be on your own screen and own computer, the different choices, speaker view versus gallery view. Next up, if you want to share with anyone that's in the meeting, there's a great feature called the chat feature. The chat feature is on the bottom bar located next to the share screen. So what you would do is you would click on the chat feature, and it allows you to communicate with everyone in the meeting at the same time with a written message. Or you can select an additional person to communicate with one-on-one that's at the meeting with you. So what I'd like everyone to try to do now is to utilize the chat feature. So if you could go into it and select everyone and share with everyone your favorite nacho topping, we'll then see what everyone's enjoying. Great. Amanda likes cheese, a bunch of guacamole fans. Oh, good job, Estelle. Good choice. Chorizo, that's a great one. So this is a great way if they're, especially to communicate with the host. Like if the meeting's started and you feel like you have a question and you want to just directly ask them something, you can communicate that way through the chat. Again, with everyone, a direct person, or the host of the meeting. Thanks, Terry. All set with those.
You bet. Jill, good job. Thank you. It's really nice. And the chat is particularly helpful for connecting with people. As you can see right now, if you're in there, you can see different names. You can see what's there. It's kind of fun. Oh, and by the way, there's another nice feature that Dennis can use. Let's suppose you want to send a particular item out to your entire team. Notice there's File. Yes, you could send a picture, you could send a PDF, something like that to someone, either directly to that individual or to everyone. Nice little feature there, and those are pretty good. Now, one of the things that I want to talk with you about is something that's kind of fun that I see in video all the time. I do a lot of work with many different places talking about video, and we see people on the screen. There's a different way of doing it. Sometimes people will use it without knowing about it. They'll do something that comes across just a little different. Like for instance, go ahead and click, make sure that I'm on speaker view. So you can see me on the screen predominantly. And I want you to notice how I'm talking to you right now. As I'm talking to you here and I'm looking a different way, I want you to notice that gut feeling, how you feel when I'm looking at you right now. And I care about you versus when I look over here this way. See, what we're doing is we're looking into the webcam. That's important. Now, that's going to be a little bit of a twist there because you see, our mamas told us it's important to look someone in the eye. So when you hear someone say, we just naturally gravitate toward look in the eye. People internationally do that in most countries. But we've got to learn to use this now with the webcam where we look into that. And so I would recommend you position the webcam so that it's easy to do that and just be cognizant of always looking into the webcam, particularly when you're working with others. And by the way, another thing that'd be very important on that, the most important part of video when you're working with Zoom or other technologies like that, most important part of video is audio. Audio is there. Like for instance, right now, as my voice is coming across, how is my voice? Raise your hand if my voice is coming okay. You can see it. But you just raise your hand up. Is it coming through okay? Yeah, it's because don't tell any of the grown-ups, but I've got the microphone right here. See, and I put it right down there so you can see it, and it's just bare there. And sometimes I can hide it under here, or sometimes I'll just bring it out and say, okay, there it is, like that. An external microphone is something we would strongly recommend if you're going to do a lot of webinars, or you're going to do a lot of video with Zoom, because your voice will come across a whole lot better like this, versus if I'm back here and you're not using a microphone. Notice the difference. You can hear me, but it's just not quite the same as when I'm up here and using the microphone this way. Makes it much clearer. So what you want to do is find a good external microphone. There's a lot of them available at an Amazon near you. And that way you can get it safely with a 6 feet separation, which is important. We strongly recommend that here at Dental Nachos. But getting a good microphone can be handy. And another thing that will be important is your lighting. Making sure you get just the right lighting is something that personally I'm working on still. I didn't do as well on that in undergrad school. My undergrad degree was radio, TV, and newspaper. And I got the radio part down. The lighting part I had some trouble with. Still working on that right now, but that is important. Often going outside is good when you get the natural lighting. And if you're using your smartphone or a tablet, that can be handy as well. But just be aware of those things if you're starting to do it on a regular basis. These are going to be some tips that are going to help you as you work with it and be able to get a lot of results this way, because dental offices now are under stress. We know that. Dr. Nacho has been telling us that beautifully and very eloquently with the Facebook Lives. If you haven't been catching those, you'll want to do that. And be sure and tell others as well, because we've got a message here to help the dental community worldwide. And by using these tools, we're able to do it. Using a tool like Zoom lets a dentist connect with her or his team very easily and very comfortable. It's not the same as being there, but it is safe. It is what they have called social distancing, and it does keep us safe, but it also gives us the ability to have a little bit more of a connection, a social connection that we do need. And so we recommend using that. Now, another thing that's very important on working with computers and technology, and particularly with Zoom, is security. Security is a feature that, well, we all need to pay attention to. And so we've asked Brendan Hill to come up, and he's going to help us on this. Brandon, you've got some good things, and he is our Director of Strategic Growth. Always enjoy working with this guy. He's a genius. He's kind. He's smart. He knows a lot about many things. One of those is security. So, Brandon, what do you got to tell us today about security?
Wow, Terry, genius. Thanks for that introduction. I really
Yes,
appreciate
indeed.
it. It's one of the better ones I've gotten. So how's everybody doing today? Glad to be here. Glad to have this meeting and discuss a couple key points when using Zoom meetings for your team. And one of the most important things, and the first thing you want to think about, is security. And it's actually a lot of the things you can do are pretty easy. And one of the first things is to make sure that you pick a unique meeting ID. When you have a Zoom account, you can easily create your first meeting, and then that meeting ID can be a recurring meeting that you use all the time. But I would definitely recommend that you create a new meeting ID to prevent something called Zoom bombing, which, if you have any familiarity with Zoom, especially being that it's so prevalent now, and what people are doing to, even if it's not maliciously, even if it's just a prank, Zoom bombing is when someone who shouldn't be in your meeting comes in your meeting and maybe does something inappropriate, unprofessional, crude, rude, and it can really be a problem, not just, offending somebody, but it could even be dangerous in certain cases if they're sharing some information or links that could be viruses, just a lot of things that you don't want to go on in your meeting. So the first thing that you want to do is create a unique meeting ID for each meeting that you schedule. The second thing that you want to do is use the features that Zoom has right there for everybody with a Zoom account. And one of those is that you can control a lot of things as the host. And I have a list of them that I want to look at. And one of those things is, making sure that people need a password to register. This goes along with the meeting ID. You don't want people to be able to get in without using an actual password, so we can see exactly who it is that is joining. The other thing is you can use a setting called the waiting room. That basically means that before someone joins, even if they're using their password, they can't actually join the meeting until you allow them in. So there's basically a waiting room. And I'm pretty sure in our industry, we all know about waiting rooms. The other feature is a lock feature. There's also a feature where once a meeting starts, you have the ability to lock the meeting so no one else can join, which will prevent the aforementioned Zoom bombing. You also, as the host, have the ability to control who can share their screen. So as we talked about earlier, where you can click the video start and video stop feature at the bottom of the screen, the host can control that as well and prevent those buttons from even working for you. Another thing the host can do, the host has the ability to promote other people to panelists. So, like in this meeting, we probably just have one person promoted. You can, in any meeting, you can have one person, obviously you promoted as panelists, but you can promote other people from just attendees to panelists. You also, as the host, can allow people to be able to use the share screen feature, which you probably see at the bottom of your screen. So that's another feature that, as a host of a meeting, you have the ability to activate and deactivate. The other thing, and this is another important one along with the video, is muting. So as we discussed earlier, you can mute and unmute yourself at any time, but the host, that's another feature that the host can deactivate when they start the meeting. And the last one, of course, is the ability to remove somebody. So, if somebody that is supposed to be in the meeting is all of a sudden behaving like they shouldn't be in the meeting, you can send them to the principal's office and remove them altogether.
Very good. Yeah, not that I've ever been sent to the principal's office. Yeah.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, me too. Great. Now, there's another thing that is really important. I know a lot of dental offices are going to be using portable devices, and they might be some other place. There's a little tool that we use here at Dental Nachos that's used worldwide, and it's to check your speed wherever you are at that time. Brandon, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, and I'll show you guys this and see what kind of speed I'm getting on this computer. If you go to a website that I like to use called speedtest.net.
Yeah, Brandon, you want to share your screen?
Sure, let me go
You're
ahead and
welcome
do
to do
that. So let me get out of another screen that I'm in. Obviously, before you share your screen, make sure you know what's going to be on the screen you're sharing.
Very important point.
So-
You don't want certain things on the screen there that the
So
world is going to see.
So before I share my screen, I'm going to control what's on the screen. So let's see. All righty. So now when you go to share screen, there'll be an option to share computer sound as well. That will be if you're playing a video. I'm not going to be playing a video, so that won't be necessary this time, but that is something that you can do if you want to play a video or any content where you need your fellow meeting members to actually hear what's going on and not just see it. So raise your hands if you can see my screen. Excellent. So I went I went and put in speedtest.net.
Very important.
And I would suggest people save this as a bookmark if you'd like, if you need to check your speed often. And once it loads up, it just will bring you to a screen that'll have that go button right in the middle.
Why does it say Plainfield, New Jersey down there?
Excellent question. I guess you assume that I have tech skills, Terry, and can answer that. And I can.
Yes.
Plainfield, New Jersey. Plainfield, New Jersey is the closest server to your location. So basically, you know, I'm using Xfinity, as it shows you right there. Xfinity is Comcast, and it shows you that the closest Comcast server that it's going to use to test my speed is in Plainfield, New Jersey. And it's going to naturally default to something it thinks is relatively close. You can change that if you want. You don't have to get that deep into the tech aspect of it,
Right.
But it's going to use a server that's relatively close to where you are. Like I said, I'm in Philadelphia. Plainfield's about an hour away from me, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. So that's a close enough server to ping to see what the speed is when I run this test. All you have to do is hit the go button and let magic happen. Don't worry about that. See, it says ping milliseconds 13. You don't need to know that unless you're an IT person. It doesn't mean anything for this. And as you can see, it's like a dial. The meter is going and it's testing my speed. Now, and it'll stop when it gets whatever the max speed is. So saying my download speed is 39.02 megabits per second. That is good enough to be on and host a Zoom meeting. Now it's about to do my upload speed. And the upload speed on with most internet providers is less than download. There's some out there that give you the same amount. But it's telling me my download speed is 39.02 megabits per second. My upload speed is 10.47 megabits per second. Both of those are good enough to do basically anything I would need to do on a Zoom meeting. You know, we recommend that you want to have at least 10 megabits per second download and 10 megabits per second upload to be more than enough. You can do it with less, but if you have 10 down and 10 up, that's more than enough to basically use this as a meeting to upload files, download files, run video, do whatever you need to do while you're on this meeting and not have any internet problems timing out. So that basically is the speed test. Now, if you find out that your speed is abnormally low, where, you know, if you're getting like, you know, one up and one down, most people's internet packages have come with a lot more than that. So that probably means there's something wrong with your internet or the device that you're using. But you want to figure out all these things, obviously, before you have the meeting. And if you had a situation where you weren't getting, you know, at least, you know, 3 to 5 megabits per second, both up and down, you probably need to call your internet service provider and see if it's device related. And if it's device related, you need to do your meeting on a totally different device.
Yeah.
That is the speed test.
What does the upload speed have to do with Zoom?
Well, I would say in Zoom, if you're hosting the meeting and you're sending out information, and forgive me just because my technology is only halfway.
Oh,
there,
you're doing real well.
But if you're sending information out as opposed to downloading and receiving information, you need to make sure it can get to its destination. So if I'm, you know, if I'm uploading something and sending it to my meeting attendees, I need to make sure I have enough upload speed for that to work, because I'm not, you know, downloading a movie for me to watch. I'm uploading something out.
Very good.
So this you know, this is the industry that I used to hear about this the most. Actually, was the architectural industry, but it can work in dentistry as well if you're doing this for business. And maybe sending some, maybe you're doing a Zoom meeting and then you want to send some X-rays or something like that to somebody. You would need to make sure that upload speed is appropriate as well, instead of just downloading it for your own use.
Very good. Well, Brandon, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Sure.
And you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen. And the sharing screen that you can see that we've just done here, that Brandon did, is real nice that you can see what's happening on another person's computer. And to tell us a little bit more about that, and particularly how it can be helpful for dentists, how they use it, is Ariel Meredith. She has been with us here. She actually keeps everything together. She's Director of Client Services, and she's the one that we go to when we need help on just about anything. She's a wonderful asset to have here at Dental Nachos. Ariel, tell us about the screen sharing. And also, while we got you here, there's another thing here I see on my notes that you're going to talk to us about, the very important feature of recording, and particularly how these are helpful in a dental office. We're turning the microphone over to you, Ariel.
Great. So I'd love to go over those. First, I'll go over the shared screen and why it would be beneficial for dental offices to share their screen. We use shared screen a lot at Dental Nachos for sharing the schedule for the day when we have our check-in morning meetings every day virtually. So that's something that you could utilize the shared screen for, is to review the schedule for that day. Another great way to utilize it is if you're sharing any training videos or any YouTube videos that you wanted to have the team see, you can use it that way. And also sharing any articles that you've read, keeping up with, all the regulations that are happening. It's a good way to visibly share it with the team. So what you want to do when you go to shared screen is you want to go to the bottom and you click share screen. And then what comes up is this screen right here. So you have different tabs you can use to share this screen. If you don't want to share your complete desktop, you can just share the Google Chrome, which I use, or Safari. And you always want to be sure that you share your computer sound, because if you do want to play a video, you won't be able to hear the sound unless you click this. So that is how you share your screen, and then you would just hit share. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Another great feature that Zoom has is the record button. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the record button, and you can hit it and it'll start to record the meeting. A great way to utilize this is it's great to refer back to. What's awesome about Zoom is it automatically transcribes your meetings. So you can refer back to either the actual video of the meeting or the transcripts of the meeting to see what was said, especially if there was an important plan or protocol that you guys wanted to start to use that you discussed in the meeting. Another great way to utilize the recording is if a team member had to leave early or miss the meeting, you can actually send it to them and they will be able to watch it or read it afterwards.
Very good. Well, there's a lot that we can do with that, and we're using that now. Just so that they'll know some of the practical ways we're using, how are we using the recording feature here at Dental Nachos?
We have all of our meetings and webinars automatically set to be recorded. So we utilize them for if a team member can't make the end of day check-in call or the beginning of day check-in call, we'll send it to them. Any of our team meetings that we have, we always have recorded. And what's great about all of our webinars is we record them so that we can go back, edit them, and use them for self-study courses on our website. We have the content there.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. We get the video, we get audio, and a transcript. Transcript is real nice so that you can go back over it and you can find out what was said real fast, because you can read faster than you can listen to a video or watch what's happening. Now you could go in there and you could do a search. So you say, gee, they were talking about Minneapolis, and where was that they said that thing about Minneapolis? We can do a search on Minneapolis and see that it bounces down to 37 minutes and 12 seconds is when we started talking about Minneapolis. We would see that. It's a really nice feature that a lot of dental offices can use for keeping track of meetings and those kind of things. Excellent. Ariel, anything else that you want to add?
I was just going to go over the different plans that Zoom has available.
Excellent.
So there's the basic, the pro, and the business, small and medium business plan. The free plan, you can have up to 100 participants and unlimited one-on-one meetings. It does limit you to 40 minutes per meeting if it's more than a one-on-one meeting.
Under the
And you
free
can
plan,
have,
that is.
yeah, under the free plan. And you can have, again, unlimited number of meetings, but if it's more than 2 people on there, it's limited to 40 minutes. And then with the pro option, which is the next step, it's great for small teams. So a lot of dental offices would probably benefit from this. It's $14.99 a month and per host. A host is how many users you have available. I feel like dental offices probably only need 1 host. It has all of the same features as the basic free plan. You can have up to 100 participants. Meetings can last up to 24 hours. Hopefully no one's having 24-hour meetings. And there's an unlimited amount of user management that goes with that. The next plan is small and medium businesses. It's $19.99 a month per host. It has all the same features as Pro. You can have up to 300 participants, dedicated phone support. There's an admin dashboard, and that's about the main differences with that. And you can, with the medium to Pro, there is cloud recording transcripts. So recording on the cloud instead of the computer that is hosting the meeting. So those are the 3 different, and then there's an enterprise option, which I do not have the pricing for that because that's for larger businesses who want up to 1,000 participants on their webinar.
Yeah, very good. Well, Ariel, you've been using Zoom now for a while. What do you think of it?
I think Zoom is great after recent experience with other platforms that we've had to use with other companies. I think it's definitely the most user-friendly. It also seems like a lot of people are using it not for work, but also for socializing. My sister and I live with my sister, and we hosted a bingo the other Sunday, and we had 40 people on, and it was really cool. It made it awesome to interact with all those people and make it feel like we were in a group of people. So I would say it's been great, user-friendly, easy to navigate.
Nice. How'd you do on the bingo game?
I did not win, but there's always next time.
There you go. Yet another reason to try it again. All right. Ariel, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate your input and helping us out here at Dental Nachos. Well, as you can see, Zoom is a great tool. Dentist offices can use this tool, and many of them are. Matter of fact, we'd like to find out from you. You've used the chat before. Go over to chat, and we'd like to have you answer this question. Are you using Zoom now? Are you using Zoom? Just say yes or no. And if it's yes, tell us how you're using that. Some of the ways that you're using it and how it's helping you, things that you like about it. And we here at Dental Nachos want to help you. We don't sell it. We're not getting a commission on this, although we should. But we're using this here and enjoy helping you because we see this is important. Right now at a time of coronavirus, we're separated. I mean, literally, we're all under house arrest and we have to stay home basically. And we want to be able to connect more. Zoom is a wonderful tool. Now, it's not the same as being there physically. Yeah, we get that. But it's pretty close, pretty doggone close in many ways. And it's a great way to connect with a lot of people quickly. You can send files. You've seen how we do that. You share your screen. And as we mentioned, as Brandon mentioned, checking your speed. Because if you don't have the right speed, then you wouldn't be able to do that. But we're getting that. So let us know, are you using this right now? Let's take a look here that we've got no, and we got a few yeses here. And what you use it to do, wine dates with my friends. I think that's a really good one. Man is doing. Matter of fact, I'm seeing a lot of communities around the world are doing that. People around the world get together. And we're doing that, matter of fact, here with my partner, Gina, and I. And we get people from Australia, from England, Scotland, Canada, Mexico, US, joining us on a regular basis, talking about some specific things they can learn and having some parties too. So I would say if you're not doing it, we'd suggest start with the free program. Just check. I think for most dentists, free is in the budget. So you start with the free plan and then you test it, see what it's like. Realize you can go, as Ariel said, for 40 minutes on there. Does a good job with that. And then you might think, okay, it's worth $15 a month. And you can upgrade to the plan where you get the other benefits. And if that goes well, you might look at other plans that are available. Zoom has been very accommodating to try to help people, and just from what I've seen, a very, very good company. Run very well. They've got high demand right now and holding in a lot. Well, also, we'd like to open this up for any questions that you might have. If you've got a question about anything related to Zoom or something else where we might be able to help you, this is your time. So just bounce over there to that chat, put it in there, and if you wanted to direct that to a particular Dental Nacho team member, we can do that as well.
One thing, Terry, I wanted to add is my daughter's second grade teacher was being asked to use this platform to communicate with the students. New to her. So she asked my daughter and one other student as kind of like a dry run before she had 20 second graders on a Zoom meeting. So if there's dentists or office managers who are listening to this and watching, like any new platform or program, it can be mildly intimidating, kind of getting used to the technology. So it's really user friendly if you want to get started doing a dry run with your partner or your kids, just to kind of get the hang of getting in and out of the chat, getting in and out of the views. Just setting up your own free account is a great way to kind of just get comfortable with it before taking it on the road, whether you're hosting your own meetings or whether you're attending meetings. It's a good thing to kind of practice and play around before.
Thank you for sharing that. Excellent points. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And Jill, I have to agree with you that you want to get in there and you want to practice with it. Just play around with it. I'm thinking 22 second graders, boy, that sounds like fun, ready to happen.
Well, she learned quickly that she could unmute everyone in the dry run meeting, which was really helpful, so that she had that knowledge of how to unmute the 2 people, so that when we went to the 22 people as the host, she was able to control that feature. So learning some of those things will be a good thing beforehand.
Absolutely. Play around with that and learn it. Matter of fact, let me show you a little trick. And you're watching this right now and you think, oh, this Zoom thing looks interesting. I want to show you a way you can get some real interesting information in a second grade situation like that, or if you're doing another thing with people and they might have a question. Click on participants. Down at the bottom, you'll see participants. Click on that. And when you do, you'll see the names of the various participants appear. And right underneath the last name, whoever that might be, you're going to see invite, mute me, and raise hand if you're not the host. Now the host will not see this, but we did. And click that raise hand and notice what happens when you do. Do you see a hand come up right next to your name? There it is. So that this way the host can look at that and go, oh, we see that Jill has a question, and we do that. And then when you've got your question answered, you just click lower hand and it disappears. Handy little tool that can be useful, whether it's second graders or those of us who still like to play like we're second graders. Very good.
Terry, it looked like someone asked a question. If unmuted and if someone speaks, it constantly interrupts the host, question mark.
Yeah, if there's someone is interrupting, it's a good idea. The host can mute everyone. And then they would only be able to unmute them. The host would be able to unmute, but everyone would remain muted. And then a good proper way to do that is if you do have something you want to insert into the conversation and you're muted and the host has muted you, raise your hand like we just did here. Or if you're visually on the screen and you have a small team, enough like we have, let's see, 17 people here, and many are choosing to hide their video, that's perfectly fine. If you said, gee, I do have a question, you could bring your video back on, unmute yourself, and then you would be able to speak into the camera. So does that answer the question? I think that might. And if someone has something, yeah, I see a yes, thanks. So that's very good. Any other questions out there? Now's your chance. Well, this Zoom is a technology that we have just really gotten into here at Dental Nachos. We enjoy it. It's really a productivity booster for us. And I mean, Ariel, imagine what it would be like if we didn't have Zoom right now in the midst of this coronavirus. It would be, wouldn't be quite as good. With this, it helps us to get the work done. And you see, that's the most important. At this time, it's very difficult for dentists. Dental offices are under a lot of pressure. Hey, they don't let you operate. Well, I understand why. People that are really smart, that understand this stuff, are making some good decisions for us. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to do dentistry, or imagine a hygienist doing the job that a hygienist does via Zoom. That would be a little bit tough. but we still like using Zoom, and teledentistry is going strong. We've had several meetings with other people talking about teledentistry and a lot happening there. Well, I see Dr. Paul Goodman, and our moderator has come on the screen.
Special guest for Kate and everyone here. Thanks Team Nacho for doing a great job. Daphne, what's your favorite part of the quarantine? Spending time with me? Oh, that was nice you said that. So thanks, guys. Thanks. You did an awesome job. I'm going to run back and make more nachos, but really great training, and it's been a great tool for us. We now are going to have our office use it. It'd be great to use for social, family, friends, and your nacho work. Thanks, guys.
All great to see you. Daphne, bye-bye.
Say bye, Daph.
Bye-bye. All right, that is the man, Paul Goodman, Dr. Nacho. We refer to him affectionately here, and he keeps us running here. And I have to say, he had the foresight a couple years ago to start getting into video, start using not only Zoom, but some other technologies that we use here so that we could be out there leading. And the reason to do that is because we want to serve the dental community. We're here for you as resources. We've got all kinds of things that we offer in CE, and there's wonderful opportunities there. But what we want to focus on is helping you right now. We're a resource. We want to hear from you. If you've got a question about Zoom, or you've got questions about some other areas where we might be able to help, by all means, drop us a note. You can see it from each of us here. And matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk around the room here with our Dental Nachos staff and have them tell you how you can reach them if you want to. And Jill, you're over there on that part of the screen for me.
Okay, great.
So tell us, how does someone get in touch with you?
I'm pretty easy. It's Jill at Dental Nachos, and then I'll also drop my work number in the chat. So
Very good.
Nachos.
Brandon, how about yourself?
It's Brandon at Dental Nachos. I spell Brandon B-R-A-N-D-E-N, as you can see on the screen instead of an O. And I can also be reached at my cell, which is 609-802-5763.
Very good. Very good. I'm Terry at Dental Nachos. You can drop me a note there and be happy to hear from it. And Ariel, how about yourself?
I can be reached out at Ariel, A-R-I-E-L, at dentalnachos.com. Or my cell is 267-896-4886. And I also will drop them in the chat for you guys.
Very good. All right. By the way, you notice the theme there, all at dentalnachos.com. Wink, wink. Yeah. So that way it makes it easy for you to reach us. All right. Any other questions that come in or any other comments? Any way that we can help you? This is your chance. Before we conclude, we want to make sure that we provide lots of value for you. I'm seeing that not there. Well, we want to thank each of you for coming and being with us today. And as we pull through this together, we're going to make it. This is something that has not happened to any of us alive today. We've never seen this kind of quarantining going on worldwide, and the economic ramifications we're still just starting to understand and feel. But we are here to help you. We don't know how long it's going to last. We do know that we're going to make it together. We might be alone, but we're still together. And Zoom is a tool that helps us to pull together and get the job done. I'm Terry Brock. Thanks for being with us today. And we will look forward to seeing you a little bit later on down the road at some other Dental Nachos meetings. Bye now.